Hey guys, welcome back to Geek Space. With the 12-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's coming up, I've been thinking, what's next for this franchise? Over the years, FNAF has grown from a small indie horror game into one of the biggest gaming franchises out there. And right now, we have a ton of projects on the horizon, from officially announced games, to mysterious upcoming titles, and even plenty of rumours about what could be coming next. So today, we're going to be taking a look at every upcoming FNAF project that we know about, what we can expect from them, and where the future of this franchise could be heading. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, during a Darko livestream a while back, Cawthon revealed that the team is currently working on a sequel to a previous project. A sequel. Not a 3, not a 1, a 2. Naturally, the FNAF community has been trying to figure out what this mysterious sequel could be. Some fans think it could be a FNAF World 2, others think it could be something like Sister Location 2. But personally, there's one sequel I would love to see the most. Security Breach 2. Now that might sound obvious, especially since Security Breach has become one of my favourite FNAF games in the series, but I think there's actually some good reasons for it to happen. Ruin left us with a lot of unanswered questions surrounding Cassie's story. The DLC ended with Cassie discovering the Mimic deep beneath the ruined Pizzaplex, Roxy attempting to save her, and Gregory betrays Cassie and she falls into the depths below. A sequel could pick up right after those events, giving us a proper continuation of Cassie's story, whilst also exploring more about the modern day Mimic. It could even let us revisit parts of the Pizzaplex that we never got to see in Ruin, showing us how much more damage and secrets are hidden away. However, there is one big question. Would Steel Wool actually want to bring back the Security Breach title after the game's extremely controversial launch? The game has improved massively since then, but that first impression might be something that Steel Wool wants to get away from. But what do you think? What do you want this mysterious sequel to be? Let me know in the comments down below. Moving away from the mystery of future mainline releases, we have the full release of 5 Laps at Freddy's. If you ever wonder what FNAF would look like if it was mixed with Mario Kart, this is basically the answer. 5 Laps at Freddy's is a fun spin-off racing game where you can play as some of the franchise's most iconic characters and race around tracks inspired by the FNAF universe. The public demo released on August 7th, 2024, and honestly, it was a really fun experience. Sure, it had its fair share of bugs, and multiplayer wasn't even available yet, but it showed a lot of potential, and gave fans a great idea of what the game could become. The full release is planned to include 12 playable races, 16 unique tracks, and a 4-player multiplayer mode. However, 5 Laps at Freddy's had its own fair share of controversies. At one point, fans believed the game had been cancelled, due to the game's composer releasing the soundtrack due to a misunderstanding. The composer believed the project was no longer happening, when in reality, it was still in development. Thankfully, the game is still alive, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the final version has to offer. This next project is a bit more on the speculation side, but I think it's one of the most exciting possibilities. As we know, MegaCat Studios released a video game adaptation of the beloved Fazbear's Fright story, Into the Pit. And honestly, I think it was a fantastic addition to the franchise. With its beautiful pixel art, unique gameplay style, and a feeling that really captured what made the original FNAF games special. Because of the success of Into the Pit, both Cawthon and fans have shown interest in seeing MegaCat Studios adapt more stories from the books. And personally, I think it's a great idea. If they were to make another adaptation, I think a fetch game would be one of the most interesting options. We could play as Greg, and explore the story from a completely new perspective. But there's also so many other Fazbear's Fright stories that could work as games. Out of Stock could create some terrifying chase mechanics with a plush trap chaser, almost like a FNAF version of the Weeping Angel mechanic. Bunny Call could work as a tense survival game, where you're trying to make it through the night while dealing with the Relfo hunting you. Blackbird is one of my personal favourites, and could have a really interesting psychological horror angle. And then there's the Breaking Wheel, which could create one of the creepiest experiences in the entire franchise. There's honestly so many possibilities, and that's what makes this idea so exciting. But if MegaCat makes another FNAF adaptation, I think Fetch is one of the strongest candidates. But what Fazbear's Fright story would you like to see turned into a game? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's move over into some Fanverse content, starting with Five Nights at Candy's 4. This game has been in development for a long time, and from the small amount that we've seen so far, it looks like it could be one of the biggest Fanverse releases yet. Unlike their previous entries in the series, FNAF 4 appears to be moving away from the traditional sit and survive gameplay for a point and click free roam experience, similar to Sister Location. This could allow us to fully explore the mysterious underground facility and uncover the secrets hidden within. Of course, the creepy new candy animatronic is one of the biggest highlights so far, but it looks like he won't be the only threat waiting for us. The game is expected to feature the largest cast in the Candy series so far, including both new animatronics and human characters. Unfortunately, we still don't know a huge amount about Five Nights at Candy's 4, but everything we've seen so far looks incredibly promising. After such a long wait, I'm really excited to see what Emil Mako has been cooking up. Up next, we have POPGOES Evergreen. This upcoming entry in the POPGOES franchise is a complete reimagining of the original POPGOES game from 2016, bringing back the classic game into a larger, more modern experience. Kane Carter has been very open about the development of Evergreen, showing off updated character models, new mechanics, and the overall direction of the project, and honestly, it looks fantastic. While the original POPGOES is still loved by many fans, it definitely shows its age. So seeing the game rebuilt with modern standards is really exciting. One of my favourite additions to this reimagining has to be the false animatronics. These twisted doppelgangers of the toy animatronics from FNAF 2 are apparently the main threats during the post-night minigames, and they look genuinely terrifying. POPGOES Evergreen is shaping up to be a really interesting addition to the fanverse. I'll admit, I haven't spent much time with the original game, but everything I've seen from this reboot has definitely grabbed my attention. But the final upcoming fanverse project is the joy of creation. Nixon has been hard at work on this fully reimagined reboot of the original Joy of Creation from 2017. The original game is often considered one of the greatest FNAF fan games ever made, so expectations for this remake are incredibly high. The demo, which released on August 7th, 2024, gave fans their first proper look at the new experience, and honestly, it was fantastic. The office level showed off the game's terrifying atmosphere, and this might genuinely be one of the scariest FNAF experiences we've ever seen, official or fan-made. And if the rest of the game can maintain that same level of quality, then the Joy of Creation could genuinely be something very special. It also helps that Nixon has been extremely open about the development, regularly sharing sneak peeks, teasers, new models, environments, and gameplay mechanics. The constant updates have kept fans extremely excited. Other developers could take notes on how to build hype for a project. Steel wool. Personally, the Joy of Creation reboot is my most anticipated fanverse project. Everything we've seen so far looks incredible, and I cannot wait to see the full game. And last, but definitely not least, we have the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 movie. This is expected to be the third and potentially final entry in the FNAF movie trilogy, and honestly, it could end up being the biggest and best one yet. Not only will we get to see Springtrap take centre stage as the main antagonist, but the second movie also left us with some very interesting possibilities for where the story could go. The possibility of a darker storyline for Vanessa, alongside the introduction of Henry Emily, opens the door for some huge moments, especially when it comes to Henry's inevitable connection with William Afton. This movie also has the potential to deliver the kind of finale fans have been waiting for. After all, if it follows the third game's legacy, things might have to end in flames. But perhaps the most interesting piece of news surrounding this project is the new writer attached to the film, Gary Doberman. Some fans felt Scott Cawthon's writing in the first two movies didn't completely capture everything they wanted from the story, so bringing in someone with Doberman's horror background is a very interesting choice. Gary has worked on some of the biggest horror projects of the last decade, including It Chapter 2, the Annabelle trilogy, The Nun, and the upcoming adaptation of Until Dawn. With his experience in horror storytelling, it's clear that the third movie has a lot of potential. If everything comes together, Springtrap can make his mark as one of horror's most memorable villains. Alright guys, we've reached the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. But now, I want to know what you think. Which project are you most excited for? Did I miss any? Let me know down below. But anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!